Now, you don't come in here like you surrogate father of the year. Now, when I turn my head, you gonna clown? That's what we're not gonna do.
Miss Brown, that was a lot of lies.
It was.
Most of which you admitted to. Why so many lies?
Were you also still sleeping with her mother during that time?
Yes.
Now, you know that's just nasty.
Two men want to prove that they are the biological father of a Tennessee woman's daughter.
Mr. Lloyd, you are in court today to prove that you are the biological father of the defendant's 1.5-year-old daughter, Courtney Marie Grimes. You claim the defendant led you to believe that you were the father only to have a bomb dropped on you that another man was her dad.
Yes, Your Honor.
She claims she's very certain that Mr. Lloyd is not her daughter's father, and she is ready to prove it.
Ms. Rayleigh, you say you are 100% sure that Mr. Lloyd is not Courtney's biological father, and you will prove your case in court today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's determine what's the nature of their relationship.
You were in a relationship with somebody else when you met Mr. Lloyd, or were you in a relationship with Mr. Lloyd and met somebody else?
I had just recently got out of a relationship when I had met Mr. Lloyd. Of course, I was ending my last relationship.
You had finished the other relationship, or you were still kind of seeing this other guy?
We had just ended. It wasn't even a month apart, and we had started getting intimate.
Now, see how the pregnancy news changed the whole scenario.
When she tells you she's pregnant, she comes to you and says what exactly?
We was actually sitting in her room, We was talking. She started crying, said she was pregnant.
He claimed to have been excited hearing that she was pregnant with his first child and wanted to take responsibility.
I was excited, this is my first child, so I was excited. I was willing to take up the responsibility to be in Courtney Grimes' life. I already had doubts. I knew of this guy, so I already had doubts about it. So the third month, I take her mom, we just nipped it in the bud like, this your baby, when she 3-4 months pregnant.
Here, see how her lies are getting caught one after another.
I was 9 weeks pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. That's when the doubting and everything started. I said, well, 9 weeks ago, I wasn't with Mr. Lloyd at all. It was around Super Bowl, which was in February the 2nd, is the day that they trying to say I was conceiving between the 2nd and I believe the 6th. And I wasn't around Mr. Lloyd at the time that they had gave me my conceiving date.
He claimed to have gotten a call that he might be Courtney's father.
I get a phone call, she I have doubts, I don't think Courtney, I think the baby was even born actually. She was like, I don't see it in Curtis. The mother knows her baby, and mother knows, that's what she told me. That's what made me come back and try to continue on to be there for my daughter.
Here come the crossroads. And hold up, she's sleeping with two different guys, and they both come up with the same name. What a coincidence.
She gave him his last name. I'm the one who came up with the name Courtney Marie.
Actually, Mr. Grimes came up with the name.
So wait, you sleeping with two different guys, but they both picked the same name?
How awkward that sound,
They both said Courtney. That's what we think is a good name.
Yeah.
Way too much synergy here.
It's time to hear Mr. Grimes' thoughts regarding Courtney's biological father.
Mr. Grimes, do you believe she's your biological child?
Yes, I got some doubts too though at the same time.
Tell the court why you have doubts.
Since Shantia been pregnant, she been playing both sides. One minute Corey the daddy, next minute I'm the daddy. Corey about to spend some money on the baby, he the daddy. We both still seeing her to this day.
Courtney's similar feature to both was a focal point. It's hilarious how possibly a child can look like both guys.
I got my whole family calling me why is it another man with your daughter on this page talking about daddy's baby? Like I said, I got doubts. She look like him, she got my nose, she look like both of us, you ask me, but
That's what I said.
Ms. Rayleigh stood to the ground that Mr. Lloyd isn't her father's daughter.
Ms. Rayleigh has maintained consistently throughout this hearing that you are not Courtney's biological father. But that still does not sway you because you feel like you are.
It doesn't sway me because I was already persuaded of that was my baby.
Did you call him back, Ms. Rayleigh, and say the baby doesn't look
Your
like
Honor,
Mr. Grimes?
she doesn't look like him because I see it all the way.
Wow, those coming out of someone's own mother's mouth.
She got pretty hair, that's my baby. I said, wait, nah, don't say I got no.
Wait, I'm not, hold on. I can't let you say something that ignorant. No, we can't say that.
Nappy hair.
No, we're not even gonna say that. Because the truth is, as a people, honestly, you gotta take that out your vocabulary.
And here's why Mr. Lloyd believed that Courtney was his biological daughter.
My mom told me when I was little, when she used to change my diaper, she used to do this diaper dance. I
Okay.
used to be excited. Courtney does the same thing when you change her diaper. I have a birthmark on my life on my left side of my forehead, as well as Courtney. That gave me a strong doubt that it is mine.
So, now it was time for paternity results. Let's see if they will save the day for baby Courtney.
The biological father is Mr. Lloyd.
Congratulations, but you're done. I knew it from the start. You done, bro.
Mr. Boykin went to court in order to negate the claim of his spring fling girlfriend.
You claim that your relationship with the defendant was nothing more than a spring fling. After disappearing for 9 months, Ms. Gully resurfaced claiming you fathered her son, Messiah Gully. You are certain that this is not your child and plan to prove that in court today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Boykin's statement is something that made everyone have a whirl of suspicion.
I'm here to prove and to tell the court and to tell her that I am not the father. I am not Messiah's father. We only had sex a couple times. It was like a summer breeze going through the wind. I actually did not know that she was pregnant.
And so you truly believe you are not this child's
I'm
father?
not the father, Your Honor.
But here it came. How did their incestuous relationship cause them to have a child?
What's this relationship about?
We were just friends at the time, chilling, having sex.
How'd you meet?
I met her at the store. Talked to her a couple times. It was just a sex
We
thing.
exchanged numbers.
Oh, you just meet at the store, exchange numbers, then you just had sex?
That was it.
Yes.
How often were you having sex, Mr. Boykin?
A few times.
Were you using protection?
At first we was, but then I started.
We
I
never
not.
used protection.
Even though the seesaw between the participants was a little confusing, Judge Lauren jumped to the pregnancy question.
How did you find out she was pregnant?
I called him from the hospital and told him I was pregnant.
And you were at the hospital and you found out you were pregnant?
He was the only man that I was with at the time.
Do you remember getting that call?
Yes, when she was calling me asking me for money.
I never
It was
called
never
you
a
that day and
relationship,
asked you
Your
for
Honor.
money.
After 10 months later, she got back in touch with me through a Facebook friend of mine.
Mr. Boykin alleged that he was informed about a baby after the boy was already in the world.
You were saying through the whole pregnancy,
I
you'd
was never
heard
there.
nothing.
Nothing.
So you didn't even know she was pregnant?
He knew.
She called me after the day she had the baby in the
No.
hospital.
All he did was call me, wanted to have sex.
As you can see, both parties were on two different pages.
I was sick and went up for it.
You
Yes.
just said, I don't want to deal with this? He wasn't
Yes.
trying to have a relationship.
Right.
Your Honor.
Go to dinner, go to the movies, or anything like that.
We are not in a relationship.
You two
Your
are
Honor.
definitely on two different pages.
I understand that, but I'm trying to be on the right page because I know for a fact that's not my child.
Cutting to the chase, Judge Lauren hopped into the paternity test.
Mr. Boykin, you are not the father. I have to ask you respectfully, do you know who Messiah's biological father is? Is this the other man you informed that he could potentially be the father?
Yes.
Does he want to be in Messiah's life?
I hope.
In this case, Mr. Matheson is refusing his girlfriend's son, saying that she's just trying to pin her son on him.
Mr. Matheson, you claim you are not the father of her 3-year-old son, Jaden, and say she's been ducking a paternity test for years.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson, you and your mother say Mr. Matheson has known this is his child from day one, and he needs to grow up and stop running from his responsibilities.
Yes, Your Honor.
The judge started the proceeding by asking both parties about why they came to the court after 3 years.
You say Ms. Robinson's been ducking and dodging.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson, have you been ducking this case?
No, Your Honor, I have no reason to duck and dodge.
Jaden is 3 years old. I've seen him maybe 5 or 6 times during the 3 years. Alexis is always keeping Jaden away from us. Today is to find out if Jaden is my grandson.
It's the focal point. If Mr. Matheson is the father, then why is she keeping his child away from him?
Ms. Robinson, are you keeping Jaden away from Ms. Brooks and
Right now, Your Honor, I am.
why?
Tawan is not responsible. I also sent the threat that my son, when he got my son, he was going to take him back to Ohio. So, yes, Your Honor, I did
Yes,
not.
I was going to take him to Ohio to see my family if he was mine.
Without my permission.
Mr. Matheson called Miss Robinson a compulsive liar just because she didn't give his name to her son. Not fair play.
Do you feel they never considered giving Jaden your name, that was somehow an indication that he may not be yours?
Because
She's a
I shouldn't
compulsive
have
liar.
to give his last name because at the same time, we was not married. Tawan was not showing me any responsibility that he would be able to take care of my child.
As the trial went forward, we got to know Miss Robinson didn't even let Mr. Matheson put his name on the baby's birth certificate.
You have doubt.
And there's a lot of different reasons why I have doubt.
Tell me.
I didn't get a chance to sign the birth certificate. I kept calling. Next thing you know, she disappeared after Christmas. You know, I got evidence, that...
What evidence
I
is
didn't-
that?
The birth certificate that I didn't get to sign it.
And they kept telling you, we're gonna do it, but then it never got done.
Right. Right.
And to this date, 3 years later, you still aren't listed on the birth certificate.
Mr. Matheson mentioned his wife's promiscuous friend, which made the judge ask them more questions.
Mr. Matheson has stated he believes there's another gentleman that could be Jaden's father. Mr. Matheson has indicated that he believes that you are Jaden's biological father.
I'm 100% sure I'm not his father.
Are you all in a relationship or are you friends?
Don't say nothing.
And we've been friends for 5 years.
So you've been friends for 5 years. How long have you all been in this relationship?
3 months.
By now, the judge was done with the allegation, so she bashed them like this.
You don't have conversation, just constant accusation. This is just so ridiculous. The point is how you all can be on two opposite sides of the same page. Because it sounds like to me, they are saying they want to see this child even until they know whether or not it's his biological child, and you're saying he's not stepping up to the plate.
However, after all the drama, the results wound up being like this.
Mr. Collins, you are not the father. Well, you should wake up. Don't play in this courtroom where I'm getting the answers for this child. Now, you don't come in here like you surrogate father of the year. Now, when I turn my head, you gonna clown? That's what we're not gonna do. That's what we're not gonna do.
The compulsive lying of the defendant has left Mr. Sensabaugh no choice but to pursue Judge Lake's help.
Ms. Montoya, you and your son, Mr. Sensabaugh, claim you've been lied to by the defendant about the paternity of her child on numerous occasions.
Yes, Your Honor.
A recent near-death experience makes today's DNA results more important to you. Ms. Brown, you admit to lying about the paternity of your daughter to both plaintiffs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Instead of moving together, they broke up. See how?
He had said that he was ready to man up and move in together. I had an apartment. He was supposed to show up and give him the money and sign in the paperwork. He never showed up. He didn't return my call for days later. I left California.
No.
Mr. Sensabaugh, were you done with the relationship?
The relationship wasn't even all like that.
Then she slept with both men. See the timeline of her incestuous relationships.
When I had left California, I went to Oklahoma with my ex. This is the calendar of the times that you slept with both of them.
Outlined green are the days you were intimate with Mr. Sensabaugh. In red, you were traveling, and then in blue indicates which days you were intimate with your ex.
They pursued a DNA test at home and check out how the testimony started.
At some point, you even pursued a home DNA test.
I created this timeline of lies and I submitted it to the court. I honestly believed that she would go forth with doing it and there wouldn't be no problem. I ended up waiting 8 weeks, 2 months for her to send it in. She said, I sent it.
Ms. Brown, had you done the swab?
I did, because really didn't want to know the truth.
Check out how Miss Brown manipulated the results of the DNA test with her lies.
There was 0 probability of paternity.
What happens on week 14?
I get told by my son that she said she lied and that she swabbed one of her other kids on purpose so that he wouldn't be the father.
Wait a minute. Ms. Brown, did you say this?
I said that out of here we are, where I'm in this emotional state again of maybe I do have a grandchild, maybe I don't.
After being caught one after another lie, she admitted lying, and this is how Judge Lake reacted.
Ms. Brown, that was a lot of lies.
It was.
Why so many lies?
And that's because I cut her off, Your Honor, and I wasn't dealing with it no more.
He didn't even want me to have communication.
Yeah, and
He wanted me to stop pushing the issue.
Why couldn't you let it go?
Because that could possibly be my grandchild.
Okay, let's see if the result is what Miss Brown is claiming.
Mr. Sensabaugh, you are not her father.
Here is the case of ultimate betrayal. The girl accusing her mother's boyfriend of being her son's father.
Ms. Holthouse, shockingly, you confess it's either a man you shared a sexual relationship with who happens to be your mother's boyfriend. Now, Mr. Chenault, you are Ms. Holthouse's mother's boyfriend. You say you strongly doubt you fathered her child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's find out how Mr. Chenault and his stepdaughter ended up in a sexual relationship.
So, Mr. Chenault, how did you end up in a sexual relationship?
It started out as a text message, Your Honor. I received wasn't supposed to come to me and a word was misspelled. A few days later, she had on tight clothing, little skirt, breast out. We started flirting with each other back and forth. Things just escalated from there.
Did you ever think in your mind this is inappropriate?
Yeah, what text messages? She texted him inappropriate messages intentionally. What the heck?
So, Ms. Holthouse,
This all started with a word you misspelled in a text. He told us the word you abbreviated, and I can imagine how you abbreviated it. You sent the message, was it meant for him or meant for someone else?
It was meant for him, but my mom was sitting right beside me when I texted him this. So I was asking him when he's gonna come over.
Their incestuous relationship started at the park. See? It gets more embarrassing.
I had not really thought about it until I got a phone call from him. And he was talking about having sex and going somewhere. I snuck out of my grandma's house that night. We went to a park.
And what happened at the park?
We had sexual relations.
For such a long duration, they had sexual intercourse without getting caught.
So how long did this sexual relationship last?
It was about 6 months.
Did your mother have any idea this was going on?
She didn't have any idea until Mr. Chenault and her got locked up and he got out while he was in jail.
See how their relationship was revealed.
How did she find out?
She had kind of manipulated both of us, saying that I told her about what we did and I never said anything, and she said that he told her about what we did and he never said anything.
And who confessed?
Actually, I confessed.
How disgusting is that he was dating mother and daughter at the same time?
Were you also still sleeping with her mother during that time?
Yes.
Now you know that's just nasty.
See how they were sneaking around the whole time.
Miss Holdhouse, how were you sneaking around behind your mother's back with her boyfriend?
When she's not there, she left to go somewhere. Sometimes when she's sleeping.
In her house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did she ever almost catch you?
Yes. She caught me standing in front of her, my pants unzipped. She was really furious and upset.
Just witness how things kept getting nastier.
Wow. If you've known her on and off for 20 years, then you knew Miss Holdhouse when she was a baby. So you watched her grow up.
Yes, Your Honor. I also helped raise her.
Now this just keeps getting nastier.
Would they ever be able to save their relationship in any way?
And you two are trying to work on and save your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, there are rules laid down for me. We're not allowed to be in the same room together. We're not allowed to talk or text each other. We're not supposed to really even be around each other. And if we are in the same room together, she turns down the TV so she can hear the conversations that we're having.
After all the disgusting testimony, Judge Lauren Lake cut to the chase and asked for the results.
Mr. Chenault, you are not.